Hi, everybody. Sassy Sisters is back. And just to kind of let you know a little bit of what's going on with me and Susan, we're together. Yay! At my house. And just to kind of let you know a little bit of what's going on with me and Susan, or I should say with Susan, because the change is not for me, it's for her. But anyway, Susan has moved up here with me for 9 months, and she's accepted a teaching job at a local school. So she's going to be living with us for the school year. And so that, what does that mean? That means that we got to learn to live together again. We've not lived together since we were kids. But anyway, but also it means for you that you might get to be seeing a few more videos.
Yay!
Yay! So today, just really quick, a really quick meal Susan and I grew up with. My mom made it. It's a great, it's a great meal for a working night, or if you just don't really feel like cooking, which me. So anyway, I am making cube steak. And so my husband wanted cube steak tonight. So of course we went to the grocery store, got the cube steak. And this is not even completely thawed. And if you want to thaw it, that's fine. It's not going to hurt nothing. But me being lazy like I am on a Sunday, it is not thawed. And so just to kind of give you an idea what you're going to do, you're going to take your cube steak, salt and pepper it really well, right? Mm-hmm. And then you're going to dredge it or roll it in some all-purpose flour, just to kind of cover it really good with flour. And then you're going to put it in a skillet with about a half a stick of butter and maybe a tablespoon or two of oil. And so we put those together and let that come up. And then you, I'm going to turn my burner on here. And then you sear, just brown, a little bit on each side. Hi, Hazel. Hi. You're going to brown it on each side. And then you're going to take it off. You're not cooking it all the way through. You're not doing that. So just to kind of show you what I've already done here, I just want to show you. I'm going to turn my camera around so you can see this is already seared right here. I want you to be able to see that. I've just browned it with the flour. This is my flour. I've taken my meat. I put it in there. I flipped it. This is my iron skillet that I love to use. And I just put it in there a piece at a time and let it come to a brown. So I'm going to let Susan hold the phone for a few minutes while I do this, and she can talk to you and kind of show you what's going on.
Hi, everyone. It's so good to see you all. I'm excited to be with Jennifer for this school year. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera over. She is now just searing the cube steak. And you only want to sear it for about 2 minutes on each side. It's going to be yummy.
I also salt and pepper my flour really well. Of course, you got to season every layer if you want it to be seasoned well. And so I salt and pepper my flour, I salt and pepper my meat really well just to make sure that it's seasoned. And I'm going to be flipping that over here in a second. I got this itty bitty baby pig. Can't leave nobody out. And I'm going to be putting that in there in just a second. So see, it's already starting. You can see. You don't want to leave it in there long. You see some of it's starting to get a little bit of blood on it. It's not been quite 2 minutes. I'll give it about another minute or so. And then I'll flip it. And then we're going to go to the next stage. So what you're going to need for this recipe is, of course, your cube steak. For however many people you're serving. You're going to need your all-purpose flour, some salt and some pepper. And I use either cream of mushroom soup or golden mushroom soup and a can of water. And then, of course, whatever you want for the sides. Today, of course, Susan and I were like, my husband wanted, I'm going to flip this now. You see that brown?
Look how beautiful that is.
Just brown, just a little bit. Okay? Just to sear it just a little bit. My husband said he wanted cube steak. And he said, whatever side y'all want. Susan and I looked at each other, so you can't have cube steak without mashed potatoes and a few biscuits. So that's what we're doing tonight, is some cube steak, mashed potatoes, and biscuits. So, but again, you may think, well, Jennifer, this is not fast for a work night. Well, this is the longest part. And actually, if you wanted to, you could do this in the morning before work, if you wanted, or the night before even. Sear it, put it in the refrigerator, and then put it in the crock pot and let it cook all day, and you'll have the same end result. So, and it'll be fine. It'll be really good. So, and again, this is just something our mama used to do, and we loved it. It's just a great comfort food for us. We just love eating it. So anyway, so this should be about done. Yep, see that side? So it's done. I'm just gonna take it, I'm gonna drip it off, I'm gonna put it to my stack here. This side's done too, if you wanna look at that side. It's done. I'm gonna take that off. And I got this itty baby piece I'm just gonna throw in there just like that for just a minute and let that do its thing. So in the meantime, so what I'm doing is I'm going to let this finish. And in the meantime, if Susan was to come over this, oh, never mind, it's right here beside the stove. I moved it. Right here, I've taken my soup. Now, this is golden mushroom. That's why it looks the way it does. But I've taken golden mushroom soup and a cup or a can of water. That's all I've done. Okay? And I've just kind of minced, what am I trying to say, Susan? I've whisked it in there.
She whisked it up.
I whisked it up. Okay? So, anyway. So now this little baby piece is already done. And if you want smaller pieces of steak, you can do that as well. You can cut them up smaller. Whatever suits you is fine. So, I'm going to let this finish. This should be about done here. That's good enough. So I'm going to turn down my burner because when you're searing something, as you guys know, you want it to brown, you got to have your burner up pretty high. So, with that, I've got all this to show them this pan. So in the bottom of my pan, I've got all these great drippings. Now, again, this is some butter, about a half a stick of butter and a little bit of oil. Okay? That's all that is. And so, to this, again, I've turned my burner down. I'm going to add my meat back to my pan. All of it. Okay? I'm going to add all my meat back to it. I'm just going to stack it in there. Just like this.
Yeah, Mama used to make her own gravy.
Yeah.
But we're going to be a little more lazy about it. Because this is like a weeknight meal. So, I make my own gravy too. Like if it's on a weekend or whatever. But we're trying to show y'all something really easy for a weeknight meal.
So again, I'm just layering it up in here in my pan. Just like that. Okay. That's all of them. I got a big crew I'm feeding tonight. So... anyway, so just like that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to pour this all over. Just like that. Now, and you're going to kind of like move it around in there. Well, that whisk is not a good tool for the job. You're just going to kind of move it around, make sure that there's soup getting kind of in between all the pieces. Now, guys, I know this is bubbling a lot. It's just residual heat from my burner being on, from searing, which is fine. And so I've got my burner turned down low. You see those beautiful mushrooms? So, and you're like, okay, well, maybe how is this going to make gravy? Well, how this makes gravy is because you have your bits from your flour already in the pot. And you also have the flour that was on the meat. And so when you go to make gravy, all you need is like a flour, a fat source, and a liquid, whether it's milk or water or your meat from your fat or whatever. So that's all you really need to make a gravy. A lot of people think gravy is very intimidating. And honestly, it took me a little while to get it down. Took a little trial and error. But this is no trial and error. It's perfect. All you got to do is pour the liquid on top of this and let it sit. Now, you're going to come back and look at it and stir it up every so often, right? And just make sure it's not getting too thick. If you want to, you can add some more water to it to kind of get your gravy to the consistency that you want it to be before it is ready to be served. And again, as I said, we are making mashed potatoes. And actually what I may do is, because this meat's not covered really well, and in order for it to kind of cook and get get tenderized real well, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more water to it. Just so I can, you know, make sure it's covered really good. That's better. All right, just like that. And that's covered pretty
And
good.
just put a lid on it.
And put a lid on it. And you
And
just
let
let
her
it
go.
sit and let it simmer. That's all you do. I flip over my lid and voila, just like that. And it's gonna sit there and it's gonna cook.
For
and
how
then,
long?
I would say for at least a half hour, 45 minutes till the meat's done. You want the meat done on the inside. So you want to make sure the meat's done. But to tell you, the longer it's going to cook, that meat's just going to fall apart. It's just going to, And like when you pull it out, even you might even get pieces of meat instead of whole pieces of steak. But it's just really good. Your gravy, your meat, and everything's all in one pot. Now I know some people prefer their cube steak to be fried and have that crispy breading on the outside, and I like that too. But I tell my family when I have time for that we can go Cracker Barrel and get that. But right now I don't have time for that, so I do it this way. But sometimes if I have time, then I will bread it and fry it and that kind of thing. But this is actually much healthier than frying it, and it's good. So also talk to you a little bit about a cast iron skillet. A lot of people have cast iron skillets. And some people don't. Some people, believe it or not, I did not never realize this, are intimidated by cast iron skillet. They're like, I don't really know. And there's a lot of myths out there. Oh, you shouldn't wash them. Oh, you should never wash it. You should never use soap on it. Y'all, I use soap on mine. I use Dawn dish soap. You gotta wash it, right? You have to. So you take your cast iron skillets, you wash them. And then after you wash them, you make sure they're really good and dry. And some people will put them on a stovetop and just turn the stovetop on low just to kind of like get that heat out of it and dry it really good. I don't necessarily go through all of that. I'm not extra. I just take a dish rag or a towel or whatever and just dry it off. And then what I do is I take a piece of paper towel and I almost like take the oil and dab it on my paper towels like this, and I rub oil all over my iron skillets. You don't want oil just sitting on it like puddly, right? You want to rub it. It's almost like you're dusting it with an oil. And so you just kind of rub oil all over it, and then you put it away. And then next time you pull it out, it's ready to go. And just to kind of show you, my hands have flour on them, so I'm going to make a mess. But just to kind of show you, oops, I have my cabinet. Y'all, don't judge my cabinet here. I don't know how to turn my camera. Here we go. So here's my cabinet, and you can see I have this one. See, just like that. And I have this one. So, and that's all I do is I put them in there, I rub oil on them, and I've got this one. And so I love my iron skillets. I would not have it any other way, because that's just, I don't know, it's just how we were raised, right? Mm-hmm. We was just raised using them. I mean, I have stainless steel, but I don't know, it's just something about cooking in cast iron skillet. Mm-hmm. Makes it extra. Yeah.
So this is our take on cube steak and gravy. It's a really easy for a weeknight meal. There's not a lot of preparation for it. So, and you can put it on when you come in from work and just let it sit there and rest. So, I mean, it's a really easy weeknight meal. We've made this a lot.
Yes. And as I was saying for the crock pot, you would do this exact same thing. Mm-hmm. The only difference would be is you would sear it in a pan ahead of time. And then you would layer it in your crock pot. You would put your soup over it. You'd cover it over really well. And then you just let it cook all day. And then when you come home, you got you some cube steak and some gravy.
And turn on some loud music and dance like nobody's watching. That's what I do.
Yep. All right. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, message us, private message us, or just make comments. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's good to see you.
And
until next
always,
time, happy cooking.
Happy cooking.
Bye-bye.